I mentioned earlier a good friend introduced me to IRA and showed me firsthand what it'll do. Little did I know at the time, but he was actually the man behind the RICO magic, and in the process of developing the Mark II that you now know as the Alpha. Back then, the Alpha was still in development, and he wanted us to take the first generation RICO and essentially abuse the crap out of it. And trust me when I say, we're pretty dang good at being hard on equipment. But that's exactly what he wanted. He knew if it got past us with the level of abuse it would probably see, it should easily do what the majority of night hunters would ever expect of it. If you think about it, that was a smart move on his part, because if we can't break it, likelihood no one else can. Ultimately, he's the mastermind behind the Alpha. And if you're wondering how I truly know it was made by a legit hunter, well, that's because I hunt with a guy every single week, and he's become someone I consider to be a good personal friend.
You said earlier it's kind of personal. This whole situation is, the starting point of it was frustration with why can't we just get a scope that does these things? For a decade, I've been asking for this. A decade. From beginning to end, that's pretty much the story. We wanted a scope that does these things. We asked for it, didn't get it. Did it ourselves. The same way I asked you to try to break it, the first thing I did was the very first unit we had, I put it on a scar and took it out and ran it as hard as I could run it. Actually broke the bolt in the scar, not the scope. So I thought that was kind of foreshadowing to how hard the scope is. But we know they're gonna break. All scopes break at some point, and we just wanna know how, why, at what point are they gonna break? How are they gonna fail? So that we can address the issue and make sure that it's up to our standards. There are some customers or some hunters that use this scope or use these type of scopes once a month, once every other month. And then there's night crew who uses it every night, 4 or 5 nights a week, just like the guys at UNV, just beat on the scopes. They can survive that, and we know they survive pretty much anything.
Tyler wanted the RICO in our hands because he knew we'd probably be the ultimate extreme test to find any flaws. And in the end, the only major issue that we found with the Alpha is he only gave us 1 and not 2.
It's like the time I took it up to hunt that one ranch and one of the scopes fell out of the truck, or fell out of the side-by-side, and we ran over it. Didn't realize for about 30 seconds because we're trying to get up this riverbank. It's 12 inches of mud. We didn't realize the scope fell out of the side-by-side. There it is, buried, been run over back and forth by that side-by-side. So we take it, rinse it off in the river, and it still works. But stuff like that, that's overboard, and that's abuse that we don't warranty that. But it's good to know that your scope can handle some serious abuse.
I got around to asking Tyler why he felt it was so important an actual hunter was involved in the building process from start to finish, and here's what he had to say.
You want to have someone overseeing the design of the scope from the very conception to production, because there are decisions throughout that process that you need to make with the eyes of a hunter, not with the eyes of an engineer or a marketer. Those decisions are there too, but I want this scope to be completely revolve around a hunter. That's it. So a lot of the other scopes out there, they have some features that fit that title, but there are other features like you can just tell that this was just not something a hunter would want. This scope has a 12 micron core, 640 resolution. It's got an American Defense mount. It's the only scope available with Matrix 3 image processing. It's got a height over bore of 1.5 inches, which is exactly the same as 90% of combat optics. I do think that the Alpha is the true representation of what the majority of night hunters want, because I'm that guy. I hang out with those guys. I know these people, I know these are my people, night hunters. And so I know what we've been missing, I know what we've been lacking, what we've been asking for, and that we haven't gotten. And that's what this is, that's the Alpha.
Get ready. Kill his ass.
It is a big coyote. It really is a personal endeavor for me. It's a project. It's a goal that I've wanted to accomplish for a long time. It's something that, I thought would be out of reach. But I guess the ultimate goal would be for any night hunter that chooses an Alpha, for them to know that they can go out, hunt, and don't have to worry about the scope. That's the whole point. Big old fired up male. Don't have to worry about, is it going to function right? Is it going to be on target? Is the battery going to die? All the things that happen, all the issues that come with any type of weapon sight. I just want them to rest assured that those things are taken care of and that they can go hunt and focus on hunting and not on fiddling with their scope.
This segment of Night Crew is brought to you by Ultimate Night Vision, the source for night vision. Wicked Hunting Lights. If it ain't wicked, it ain't worth it. Rover, vehicle-mounted thermal night vision systems. And by Fox Pro, high-performance game calls.
Our sole focus with IRA USA is to bring scopes to market that are unlike anything else out there, that have feature sets unlike anything else out there, that are quality and that are going to last a long time, and they're going to see a lot of animals die. That's pretty much it.
You just want to see people die.
Pretty much. Having the best product, that's not all that goes into being a good thermal scope manufacturer, right? I mean, you got to have good customer service, you got to have a good warranty. So we sat down, put our heads together and said, what would we want out of that? We came up with our 5-year, 5-day guarantee. That's the promise. If it fails under warranty, we fix it within 5 days or we replace it within 5 days, guaranteed. Nobody else is doing that. So what's the promise? The promise is, don't worry. If your scope fails under warranty, within 5 days, we'll fix it or replace it. If that's not enough, I don't know what else to do for you. I mean, we were going to do 4 days, but I mean,
I've called him the Thermal Wizard before, but what he's done with the Alpha, I think he's outgrown even that title. He set out as a night hunter wanting to give us something better, and between you and me, this is one hell of a new mousetrap. Tyler, my hat's off to you, sir. Job well done.
And that's a wrap.
that's it. Can we go hunt now?
Maybe. I think we're done.
Okay, good.